So did we want to discuss these releases, or do we want to get into
you, man,
as a whole?
What were your thoughts first off on the Derek Watt signing?
Derek Watt.
Yeah, man. 3 years, $9 million.
My initial
fullback, special teamer.
My initial reaction was, all right, we're doing this just for the name. We're doing this just to get fans excited. I'm not about this because we already have Rosie, and I really like Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie a dog, man.
So that was my initial reaction, and that's what over $3 million a year.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, you could have got another piece there with that type of money, but I don't know if that money would have been available if not for all these other restructurings and releasings and whatnot. But then I texted you. Or no, I think you might have texted. You texted me the news, and I'm like, I hadn't, because you could tell my response. I had like no reaction. Like, what does this mean?
Because I found out I was like doing my radio show, and I get the update on air, and I'm like, whoa, what?
Oh, so you were thinking that too?
Yeah. Well, the thing was because the guy, one of my co-hosts that I was doing the show with, we had just got done having a conversation about Tyler Matakadovich to the Bills, and how he was talking about, oh, they grossly overpaid for Tyler Matakadovich, the fans still a nation. Oh man, y'all can have Dirty Red for that. 2 for $9. What? You're paying a special teamer that? You're crazy. And then literally an hour later, the Steelers, 3 for $9.
Yeah.
Derek Watt. I'm like, yo, I'm like, okay, you add the extra year. So from a per year standpoint, I think it was $1 million less. But I'm like, dude, are we for real right now? Like, so you laugh at the Bills and say they grossly overpaid for Dirty Red, who led the league in special teams tackles since he's been in. But you applaud the Derek Watt side. They say, oh, this is a great deal, man.
Dude,
I love this.
Why though? Come on.
It was funny to me, man.
You know why? It's the last name. So I didn't have, like I said,
but you got that $1 million cheaper. Man.
I was pissed about us not having Rosie anymore.
Yeah.
But whenever I was talking to you about it, it made sense from the standpoint that he can play the fullback position and then also do the special teams work of Matakevich.
Yeah.
So you're kind of double dipping there, kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah. And essentially on paper, that's what it sounds like. But when I looked at it, I said, man, you're asking Derek Watt to essentially take over the productivity of 2 Pro Bowl special team caliber players. Rosie has been to the Pro Bowl. He has been a crazy animal.
He was that. I mean, he was the special teamer, and then he was a beast being a fullback. Yeah,
and then Tyler has been a Pro Bowl alternate multiple years. Has led the league in special team tackles multiple years. So it's not like you're just asking Derek Watt to come in and just take over one of their duties. You're asking him to take over both. That's a lot. Then who else did we get rid of? Anthony Chickalo. That was the third wheel in terms of the special teams productivity that the Steelers have had throughout the years that they've been there. So for me, I was like, man, you're asking a lot for just this one guy to come in here and hopefully be able to do the same type of impact that those 3 guys have been having on special teams. And then I guess when I looked at it a little bit more, they said on average this past year, he averaged 1 special team tackle per game. And they said he played around 8 snaps on offense per game. So for me, I'm just like, I felt like the price was a little bit steep because for the fullback position, especially in Pittsburgh, like,
is that a good special teams number? 1 tackle per game?
It is, because that is still gonna have you at the double digit realm. So you love that part of it. But I guess for me, when I'm looking at the numbers of the contract and I'm saying to myself, well, we don't use a fullback like that. Even when Rosie was healthy.
No, people were complaining. People would get pissed that he's not in more.
Like, we don't use a fullback like that. And you have to think about this. If this was last year, and now granted, Rosie was hurt a lot last year.
Yeah.
But when Ben plays, Ben is hardly ever under center. So I understand that you might have the fullback out there every once in a while, but you're not even going to be able to have this dude out here 15, 20 snaps for what he's getting paid. And I just thought that was a reach in terms of what they paid him. But at the same time, I said, you would be a fool to not think that hey man, they're thinking, if you're the ownership, you're thinking, hey man, if we can get Derek White in here, you pay him a nice little contract, 3-year deal. We got negotiations with TJ coming up. Hopefully that helps out a little bit. You're a fool if you think that doesn't play into it, because it does. Because you want to keep it when it comes to negotiations. And I can tell you firsthand, I've had a good amount of experience with them. They try to do whatever it takes to make that deal sweet, but at the same time to not have to. I'm all right.
No, dude.
Yeah.
No, listen, I'm not.
That's the business.
I'm not discrediting that
bro.
at all. I'm laughing at it because it's funny.
Yeah. So trust me, man. They make that move. It's like, all right, TJ, we took care of your brother now.
Whoa.
We still gonna pay you, but hey, show a little love.
I mean, you know what all the other fans and Steeler fans are thinking right now too.
Are we gonna get the third one? Heard Bill O'Brien is giving them away right now. Might say some crazy stuff with it, but he's giving them away.
Well, I mean, is that in the back of you think their mind too?
Man. I mean, it can't hurt the call. Like I said, the way Bill O'Brien's handling situation,
Here's the problem. He's got to have a massive contract right now.
Absolutely.
So you're hoping whenever he's up on that contract that, hey, my two brothers are in Pittsburgh. I'll play on. I've never done anything here in Houston because Houston's tanking. It seems like. Why not go play at Pittsburgh for a cheap deal for a couple of years? Play with my brothers. That'd be an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah, man. Never know. Well, if from a historian standpoint, at least the Steelers could say they have two sets of brothers on the team at the same time too, with Trey Edmonds and Terrell Edmonds, and then you also got Derek and TJ. So
I mean, we're trying to win games though.
I'm just saying, bro. Hey man, we rolling with history.
I mean,
man.
if that means winning games, I'm good.
Hey man, you saw that was one of the first things they put out there. We got two sets of brothers on the roster right now. Boom.
Who did that? Like Steelers Twitter?
Yes. Come on, bro. What? You got to get plugged in. What are you doing right now with yourself? Plug in.
I want to win games.
Yeah.
Man. I want to win games. I mean, that stuff's cool. I guess it's a good little story, but come on.
That's what they talking about right now.
Because that was my initial reaction with the move. I'm like, all right, it's just the whole brother connection thing. Can he play? If he can play, I'm good with it. That's all.
Well, like I said, man, we're not taking anything away from Derek. Derek is definitely a very productive player. I just don't think that this move makes them any better than what they were already doing currently with Rosie and Tyler. And when I see the deal, I'm like, man,
dude, losing Rosie, that's the thing. It's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, I felt like you could have pushed a little bit harder to keep Tyler Matakadovich for the number that you paid Derek. And that was the thing that I'm just looking at. Like,
but I'd rather keep Rosie though over Matakadovich then.
But this is the thing. It didn't have to be either or. You could have had both. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do that, I'd much rather you had kept both of those dudes.
How though? Because
what do you mean how?
With Watt's contract,
they still have money. They still have enough to go out there and get another free agent right now.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on what they do with this.
So that's my thing. It's like they can't get a high-end free agent,
right?
But it's like they still have enough money now to go get somebody because of all the restructures that they've done.
So you could almost look at it as all the releases. Mm-hmm. We tagged Bud.
The restructures they did.
We tagged Bud, and then the restructures, and then we kept Hilton and Filer. Mm-hmm. For the most part, we'll see if most likely at least with these second rounders, and then we brought in Watt. So whatever we do with that other one is kind of the trade off of everything that's happened.
So we'll see how that which direction they go and things like that. So yeah,
you hearing anything on that?
I haven't, not yet, but they have said that they are done releasing people and that they are still going to be looking to pick up somebody
for
$3,
$4, $5 million,
more than that. That's going to be the range tops.
But you can still get a quality player for that.
Yeah, man. But that's my thing. I'm just kind of like, I feel like the money could have been spent a little bit better. That's all.
How so? So you would have kept Matakadovich and
I definitely would have, because, okay, this is what we're comparing. We're saying that, hey, we're getting a guy that's really good at special teams, right? In terms of his productivity. But you had one of the best players on special teams in Tyler Matakadovich. You're paying more now for a fullback when I think we all can agree that Rosie is the better fullback. And that was my thing. So it's like Rosie is just as good on special teams and could play fullback a lot better. And he was still on a cheaper deal.
Okay, so we wouldn't have signed Watt then.
Correct.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So we wouldn't have the space then to make an extra move either.
We still would though.
Really?
That's what I'm telling you.
If we had Rosie,
depending on the deal that they could have got Tyler for, if they could have got him at 9 or even at 8,
the same deal. We'll just say
it still would have been the same.
and we already had.
Because think about this: Derek is at 9.
What about Rosie's contract though?
Rosie was going to count for like $1.2 million this year. Tops.
On the cap, even.
Mm-hmm.
No,
not even on the. I don't even think on the cap. That was going to be his salary for the year, though. Yeah, his contract was front loaded. Mm-hmm.
No,
yes, dude.
On, man. This is
so that's my thing. So that's why when I looked, I was like, like it don't really move the needle for me. I understand what they're trying to do.
Now the whole TJ Watt thing makes a lot more sense.
I ain't just come up with it out the air. Like, you thought I was just pulling out the air? Let me just throw this out here.
Well,
like,
no, that's what I'm saying.
I was looking at the numbers like...
I'm glad we broke it down more.
I'm looking at the contracts and I'm just kind of like, okay, now granted, this could have been a reaction to Tyler leaving because Tyler did leave first prior to them giving Derek that deal. But I'm like, you can't sit here and tell me that you didn't say to Tyler, hey man, we'll pay you 8.5 to stay. And he's like, nah, I'd rather take 9 to go to Buffalo. Like, I personally don't see that.
Whole Belichick scenario with Brady.
Yeah, I just don't see that personally. But then it's like, you let him leave and then you going to pay Derek essentially what you could have paid him. And in turn, you lose 2 high quality players instead of just 1.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I told you I was definitely disappointed in losing Rosie, and now that you're breaking all this down on the surface for this year, yes, I don't like the move, but I guess
like I said, I see the long term plan, and Derek is still going to be productive.
Yeah, dude, if he could play, I don't care.
Derek's going to be productive. I just look at it like instead of losing 2 guys, you could have essentially kept both of those dudes and been fine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Now you're losing 2 proven special teamers, 2 guys who've been in the system, 2 guys that you developed. One guy was a draft pick. One guy you took on after he got released from the Falcons and essentially have watched them grow and develop. And you let both of those dudes essentially leave out the door for another guy who's productive. But you can make the argument that he wasn't as productive as either of those 2 guys solely.
Right.
In terms of when you look at special teams productivity, Tyler Matakavich had more productivity. When you look at the fullback special teams combo, Rosie has been more productive in that regard. So for me, that was my biggest thing. I'm just like, I don't understand why you make that move with that money associated with it. Now, if it was if it was $7 million or even $6 million, I was like, okay, look, that's a substantial difference. But that contract wasn't substantially different from Tyler's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I'm glad you broke that down, though. I think things are...
And when you look at Rosie's contract being cheaper, it wasn't like they got a discount. It's like they're paying more.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do with this cap space. Let's see if we can make a little splash move. That's all. Maybe not too much of a splash, but I
don't know what type of splash you
productive player.
I would say you said splash. What's your definition of splash? I feel like we'd be having different definitions for certain words.